Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Rule here. In today's video I want to share with you my Celestial challenge build. It is a challenge that got really kinda changed in this game, or this time. You enter it from this guy and you ended up competing with other player or helping each other in an event which you get a buff or an effect at the end that can be consumed to open chests. Those chests reward you with shards or fragments, sorry, this ones. For each chest you get one of them, and 8 of them will give you a full token, and you can use the token to buy the envelopes for lower price, or the little envelopes, each 5, without even any cost for gold, with also a cap of 8 envelope only a day. In order to get this as fast as possible, or to gather more of them, you have to be really efficient. Why? Because now that buff give 1 each event for 5 events to the whole thing end, and you get your reward, or extra 5, 1 for each event if you have the highest contribution. That means the player with the highest contribution for each event will get an extra buff. And this build idea is, it is the best one to play for ranger in order to get this. I make mistakes. I don't really focus that much in the gameplay in PvE, and what you're gonna see as footage will be the first event test for it, and I was able to get up to 8 Boon effects. I can't remember its name right now, but and the hardest, even the most good players that do crazy stuff, I was able to push myself even to 7. It is not easy to beat this build in a way. It may not be the best build, but it is still good. There was other few changes in the Celestial challenge, like the special action key skills. In my idea, or my opinion, I think they did that to make any class playable or enjoyable, that you don't have to go with the fastest classes, the highest damage, or any other things, depending on situation, so you can play whatever you want and be just or enjoying and still have a really decent chance. But there is a limit on how much you can do that. Once you're hit by a mob, super speed will always be faster than any other things, and even between using skills for mobility, the higher stability uptime will be better than only a single skill that they give you, and even only one teleportation will not compete with short bow for thief, for example. So it is still depending on the build how can be effective. And on another notice, the build will not magically get you to 10 out of 10 contribution. You need to be effective on your own. You need to see on the map, for example, where is the highest area or the most condensed for orbs, and move immediately to there, and you will have only a few seconds to decide before other people or other players do it and be faster than you. You need to not keep making mistakes for jumping or getting float in the air by hurricanes in a race, so the other player won't do it faster than you. It is a compete things more than actually helping each other. That's how the challenge is right now, sadly. Now, for the build itself, I go with longbow and greatsword, and we are perma merged with Ragazal. Unless you want to save yourself, you can unmerged if you're getting hit too much, and Ragazal will tank for you since it's insane tanky. And also you have few other things to tank yourself. You have decent toughness, and we have protection and Doliac stance also to reduce the damage. We have decent healing and a lot of regeneration, and also you can reset our boons multiple times. Now, for the skills, I go with we heal as 1. I go with Doliac stance, I go with Signet of the Wild, but you can change it for Quickening Zephyr if you want to reset your boon more and get even access to a really decent and long super speed and extra stun break. The quickness will reset your boons for 2 seconds. You will have an extra stun break, and you will have super speed to even move faster. I just use this one for convenient higher damage and CC if needed, but it's up to you. And I use more stance, and I use 1 wolf back. For the gear, I use a marauder set for the armor with rune of the back for the highest stats, power, precision, and boon duration, and also giving us 5 stacks of might, fury, swiftness for 8 seconds every 30 seconds to us and everyone around us, which will mean swiftness and fury with the other sources that we have gonna be permanent. And I use greatsword with longbow berserker. I use cleansing and generosity sigil. I was using them in a test thing, but I didn't change them, and we don't have any condition removal, so it is decent to remove anything like cripple, we get poisoned or whatever. So it felt convenient, but it's up to you if you want more damage like force sigil or something like that. And for the trinkets, I have berserker amulet. I have mix of Valkyrie and berserker and marauder. This one's marauder, and those two, the back and the other, are Valkyrie berserker. And I use cavalier rings since we don't want to overcap the precision, the critical chance that we have. As you see, 87 already like this, and we have 10% extra from flanking and extra 100% inside combat, so I found this to be enough, and now we have even decent toughness. Now for the traits, I go with skirmishing, beast mastery, and SoulBeast. For skirmishing, I go primary reflexes, which mean we can have Burma vigor once we dodge, which giving us even more dodges, which can be effective to our survivability and just making sure we have full endurance easy. And like this event, when we have to go around mushrooms to gather the things that we put in another place, that means we can dodge the mushroom more. Even so, we have a lot of stability anyway, but it can be better this way. And we have spotter for higher precision. It helps people too, which is not really the point of it, and I'm gonna tell you why in the end. But because the other two skills are worthless for us. And vicious quarry, which means we have extra a lot of ferocity and even critical chance. Now our fury grants us 30% critical chance, not 20. And this trait also giving us minors like swiftness or weapon swap, which on its own can mean that we have permanent swiftness, and giving us fury and weapon swap and extra critical chance and critical damage when flanking. Remember why I said we don't want to overcap the critical chance? A lot of it we have here. For beast mastery, it gives our bit traits, higher traits like ferocity and stuff like this, but since we are Burma merged, we get this hour for ourselves. And we go with resounding timber because the other two traits are completely worthless, and this way we get some regeneration, I guess, and lower cooldown for healing if needed. And we go with two-handed training since we need a lot of mobility to move around in some of the missions or stuff like gathering orbs. So now this skill have a lower cooldown, and it have even a dodge in it, so it is nice. And we have this, we have two skills for mobility with 12-second cooldown and 9.5-second cooldown. And the last one for simply 120 ferocity. We don't have access, but it is good. And remember, a CC most of the time is worthless since fighting itself is worthless, and lesser quickening zephyr need us to be merged and unmerged, and I don't do that in generally. Now for SoulBeast, I go with live fast, and now it is the only source of quickness. So it's still a source of quickness, so it gives you fury and quickness for higher damage, and it resets your boons for 2 seconds. As you see here, we can give ourselves this boon, we can set them by 2 seconds, and we can recopy them even to get it more to ourselves. And this one, we don't have poison, we don't care about the fight, and condition, so protection would protect us from it, is really worthless. And we also have, if you remember here, a way against condition. So this one is the only one who makes sense. And lastly, leader of the pack for higher duration for the stances, and I give them to people. But that gets me to the point that I have to share. Celestial Challenge, sadly, as you all help each other in making it work, it is a compete thing. You want to beat other people to the highest contribution, you don't want to help them. So give them more damage in an event of you need to fight bosses, so give them swiftness so they can move faster. Stuff like this is not ideal. It's not what you should do. So every support build or support class is not optimal and is not encouraged in Celestial Challenge right now. I don't like to play this selfishly, so I take it, but you can obviously just go with oppressive superiority for higher damage. And for the bit skills, as you see, every skill do insane damage, so we can go with like crazy bursts, like just bobbing this and maul, worldly impact this one, maul again because to reset it, and here you hit this one for 5 targets and then follow this one, maul off cooldown again. You can cleave insanely with this build. And longbow can help you also, like for the lantern up above in the sky, you can simply hit them really easily, especially when one wolf back, you can destroy them really fast and rotate between lamps, special action keys that they gave you and your own damage. It just like functioned really good, and you will be seeing footage right now. And as I say, this was the first time I do the build completely and used it, and I already got to 8 out of the 10. So I hope you like it, give it a shot, and please consider liking and subscribe for this channel for more content always. And I'll be seeing you next time. Peace.